Though it's only been a few weeks since my trip to American Dream, it feels like years ago. The coaster season has taken a sabbatical for the time being, but that's not going to stop me from discussing some of these exciting attractions. Shredder is a spinning coaster built by Gerstlauer, and it serves as one of the park's marquee attractions. Alright, let's get spinning. Ride presentation. As I mentioned in my Shellraiser review, presentation lacks something to be desired. The sign and cars look cool, but everything else is just riding a roller coaster inside a warehouse. The color scheme and interaction with Shellraiser is what makes this roller coaster stand apart from other spinning roller coasters. It's a giant spaghetti bowl of track all intertwined with each other. There's really not much to discuss on this category, so Shredder gets a score of 6 for ride presentation. Ride intensity. This is a spinning coaster that is geared more towards families, so it's not going to be an extreme spinning coaster like Time Traveler at Silver Dollar City. The ride has a few good moments that push it up a notch, but for the most part, this is an easygoing roller coaster that any coaster beginner should feel comfortable riding. The beginning section of the ride is where you will experience the strongest G's, but that's not saying much. The coaster also has a couple surprise moments of airtime, but nothing to write home about. Remember, this is a family coaster, so all the forces will be dialed back. Just like ride presentation, I don't have much to discuss in this category, so let's give Shredder a score of 3.5 for ride intensity. Fun factor. Finally, a category that really shines for Shredder. This roller coaster is loads of fun, making it one of the better family coasters that I've ridden. The pacing is actually not too bad. It does feature multiple block breaks, so they can operate multiple trains, but they serve as checkpoints, marking the transition from one section into another. Each section of the ride has a different feel to it, from the faster-paced, somewhat more intense section to the lateral-filled turns or bunny hills near the end of the ride. Shredder makes for one enjoyable coaster. Being a free spinning roller coaster, the rewritability is always high because every time that you ride this coaster, your experience will vary. Also, depending on how full the train is and the weight displacement will affect your overall outcome. Oh, and this ride is super long. At one point, I was starting to wonder if the ride was actually going to end, but in a good way. Because the line for this attraction can get quite long, it's nice to be rewarded with an extra long attraction. Fun factor gets a score of 8. Originality. Spinning coasters are not unique, they have been around for quite some time, but what makes this one stand out from the pack is its interaction with Shellraiser. If you are standing off to the side, as mentioned earlier, it's near impossible to figure out which way the roller coaster goes next. When both roller coasters are operating at full efficient capacity, the madness gets even crazier. Their coaster trains zooming by, spinning around in all directions, making for one dizzying effect. Shredder earns a score of 8 for originality. Ride smoothness. Unlike its bigger brother, Shellraiser, Shredder is quite smooth. I don't recall any rough transitions, rattling, or vibrations. It's a smooth, steel coaster just like you'd expect. Overall, it's a butter smooth coaster earning a 10 rating in this category. Okay, the final score comes to 7.1, which is a decent score. For a family coaster, this serves as an excellent stepping stone before riding some of the more intense attractions at Nickelodeon Universe. My daughter was just a smidge too short to ride, but I think next time we visit the park, she would be ready to ride Shredder and have a great time doing so. My personal score is going to be an 8. It's ranked a little higher, but only because it's a family coaster. I can't really compare Shredder to more intense coasters like Shellraiser because they are designed for a different audience. I can be a sucker for a good family coaster. It's always nice to ride a roller coaster that's just a little bit more tame than your larger attractions. You can soak in everything, get a good look at your surroundings, and just enjoy the ride. At the end of the day, Shredder isn't going to wow you, but you'll still have a fun ride and won't have to worry about getting a massive headache afterwards. Well, that's my review of Shredder. Let me know in the comments what you think of this Gerstlauer spinning coaster. As always, please subscribe so you don't miss out on more great content coming your way by X Scream Thrills.